I'm just sitting here listening to that. Bail and release for multiple illegal immigrants charged with child rape? What is going on? On a similar vein, let's move to this. More freebies possibly in the offing for illegal migrants in the state of California. Where else? Governor Gavin Newsom weighing whether to give undocumented immigrants, as they like to call them, unemployment benefits. The potential handout comes as the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, claims border numbers are down in the Golden State and elsewhere because Texas is cracking down on illegal immigration.
They're claiming that the numbers are down because of Biden's executive order in June. The reality is, because of action that Texas took, they began going down last year.
Right.
Because Texas represents 2/3 of the border, because we reduced illegal immigration by about 85% in the state of Texas, of course, the border numbers are going to be down. But you mentioned something else that not enough Americans know, and that is another reason why the crossings at the border are down is because Biden is flying them across the border and then moving them to cities across the entire United States.
Right, so they're recategorizing a lot of would-be illegal immigrants as like quasi-legal and calling that a big victory. Anita, just going back to what we heard from our colleague Bill Melugin there, I just think you don't have to be some foaming at the mouth right-wing immigration hawk to say it is absolute insanity to have people coming across the border, all three of the gentlemen or the men that we saw there are gotaways, coming into the country illegally, allegedly committing rape, and then posting bail and being released back into it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it is maddening. I mean, it's tragic, and it makes people, I would hope it makes people angry to hear that story. But going back to California for just a moment, because
Sure.
I'm from that state.
Please.
When we talk about, these freebies for illegal immigrants in California already have access to health care. They can have driver's licenses. Now we're talking about unemployment benefits. You know, some people say that Gavin Newsom is under pressure from the ultra-liberal supermajority in the state legislature. Other people say he wants to cement his super-liberal reputation. But he has until September 30th to consider this. We'll see what he does. But, I mean, what's next for them?
It seems like the California legislature spends its days dreaming up new ways to spend taxpayer money on illegal immigrants specifically.
It really does.
And, Lisa, just listening to that list that we heard from Anita, down that checklist, that is the Kamala Harris vision for the country as explicated, as described by Kamala Harris the first time she ran for president. Gavin Newsom and all this stuff, that is Harris central. That's Harris worldview, right?
But think about this evil that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats are inflicting on the American people through open borders. You point out what Bill Melugin was talking about, child rape in Nantucket, allowing murderers into the United States, gang activity with the Venezuelan gang as well, which we have seen, allowing terrorists to cross the southern border. And then you also just have the unfairness of it as well, which we're talking about in California. If we look at a place like Springfield, Ohio, putting the animals aside, you've got, a city of about 58,000 people, and you have estimates as high as 20,000 Haitians there. I've had the mayor on my podcast. He's saying the city's going bankrupt. They can't afford this. The town is suffering as a result of it. There was a factory worker on camera talking about how his factory needed 50 jobs. All those jobs, according to him, were filled with Haitians, not American citizens. So you have the evilness of allowing bad people into the United States and not protecting your people, not protecting your country, leaving us vulnerable to attack. And then also just the unfairness of it, where American citizens are being displaced by people who shouldn't be here in the beginning.
Charlie, it seems like there's a couple obvious questions to ask Kamala Harris. The borders are. You could ask about any of these terrible crimes committed by people who have no right to be here. You could also say, hey, you ran for president a few years ago and you were supporting health care plans from taxpayers for illegal immigrants, sex change operations for illegal immigrants. Do you support what your home state is now doing to expand taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants? And if not, why not all of a sudden? And I wonder if she will see anything approaching a question like that.
Well, she grew up in a middle-class family. No, it's really amazing that we have a campaign going on right now, and you have one of the people that's running is 50% responsible for all of this. When Donald Trump left office in 2020, he had the border essentially sealed. And because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris hated Donald Trump and hated his successes, they intentionally undid every single thing that he had done that worked to seal the border and have subsequently let in millions and millions of illegals into the country. And as Bill Mnuchin pointed out, 1.9 million known gotaways. Those are the ones they know about. We have no idea what the true number is. And of course, now they're coming to California. They're being welcomed into California with benefits and freebies. They've been put up in hotels that normal, regular Americans don't get paid for by the federal government. And it is all their fault. It's all Kamala Harris's fault and Joe Biden's fault, and they don't even get asked.
And not just California, Minnesota as well.
Oh,
driver's licenses, in-state tuition, health care. That was what Governor Walz put into place, Kamala Harris's running mate.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.